Hey guys, it's a very cold and snowy December day. My name's Matt, that's Maverick back there. This is episode 42. And before we get started, I just want to say it's almost Christmas, so for all of you watching, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, because it'll be 2025 by the time we upload a new video. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. Very much appreciated, very much helps with the algorithm. And with that, thanks for tuning in and enjoy the episode. All right guys, it's early November here in Cape Cod. And yesterday I got the rest of the filling done on the plank lozenges for port aft one frame. We've got the forward filler block for this scarf filled in with a hunk of white oak, epoxied in. Still a little bit soft, but we're good. So today, I'm gonna see if that jig that I made up yesterday will work to cut the scarves into this stringer here. So there's gonna be one here. So just like that side, except hopefully we can do it much more efficiently using the scarfing jig and the router. But I don't know because we have very limited vertical space here and we have the beam shelf in the way and whatnot. So I will get the router and the jig and bring it out here and we'll see. And we'll just get the excess epoxy ferret off of these, and as well as on the outboard side of these. All right, let's get this frame primed. I'm not gonna prime the hull just yet. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, but pipe every now and again is not bad. I just scraped all the stuff up out of the bottom of this yesterday. All right, that's one primed frame. Let that dry over the next few days. For now, let's get down below. There's our jig. This guide fence on here is what I'm worried about. Yeah, see. Yeah, so that's not gonna work. Even if I had a smaller router, that wouldn't work. Just because that base plate has to be so much longer than the thing. So, we'll have to actually hog out the scarves like we did last time with our rotary rasp wheel, because, yeah. All right, well that sucks, but it is what it is. At least we got half the work done. So I've marked out 6 inches from the center line of the scarf block. So these are 6 inches on either side, which with a 1 inch in 8 inch scarfing angle is just how it ended up. And that's how I set my jig up, because that's what was recommended for scarfing over butt blocks. So what that means is I have about 1.5 inches of overhang between the edges of both pieces. So I'm gonna have to do them one at a time and then fare back into the other one when I do the next. But that'll be great because that means we have 2 overlapping scarf blocks right in here, brand new wood, and everything's just tied together and beautiful. And that'll be good too because it'll tie this and that and this and these and all of this in together. All right, I might as well get to work on that. Alright, I'll catch you when I'm done. Alright, I think we're good. We'll just have to mix up a whole crap ton of epoxy because there's a little bit of a gap down here, but the wood bows out back here like this, so if we just get a clamp in the middle of it and just whoosh, I'll probably do 3 clamps on the top and bottom. Thankfully, I did go to Harbor Freight and I got like 25 new clamps. So, we'll get that anchored in, fared back down after it's dry sometime this week. All right, very nice. This scarf is ready, prepared. I've got tape covering all these holes on the back side so we can squeeze epoxy into them. I have tape wrapping around underneath here so it can catch the drips. All right, I'm gonna get some epoxy mixed up. I'm gonna do a light coat of unthickened first and then thicken up the rest and just gob it in there. So it's probably about 45 degrees right now. And I've got slow cure epoxy. I kind of like it because it lasts a lot longer in the pot than when it's hot out. Might take longer to cure, but really that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. All right, I'm not gonna bother priming the filler piece because that's brand new. I just kind of want to get this surface of this absorbed a little bit just to so it doesn't immediately absorb all of the thickened. All right, I'm gonna go thicken this up. All right, that's coated. So, as far as I'm going to take this for now, bear in mind that the whole hull is going to be faired down after we get all the structural repairs done. Probably going to be a lot of fairing compound utilized. But for now, the outside here is ready to accept new fasteners. I mixed up some unthickened, filled in there, because there was a gap, so that's no big deal. It's all dammed up by that tape. I also filled in a gap that was behind that filler and one that was on top of that filler. That scarf joint is all set. We just got to let the epoxy set up. I will get up there within the next couple days. Well, guys, it's Monday, November 4th, and it's 4:05 p.m. and the sun's setting. Daylight savings time has expired. Daylight savings time, because the government has to screw with everything, including time itself. C'est la vie, right? All right, so it got down past freezing last night, and after I had done all this epoxy work, so let's check it. Maybe a little bit sticky, but not horrible. It's a little bit soft, but it is set up enough to take the clamps off. I did dam up next to this. There's like an 1/8 of an inch gap, but I put a piece of tape over and I just pooled unthickened epoxy right down next to it, and that just flowed down and filled that entire gap. Filled that gap on top of there, and it wasn't entirely successful, but I dammed that up. And I backfilled it with unthickened, and you can see it's settled down significantly, but that's just because this old dry iron sick wood was really absorbing that epoxy, and honestly, that's a great thing for wood that's in this condition. So we do have some more epoxy filling to do. For this stuff here, on this kind of vertical inward sloping plane, what I'm probably going to do is, and this is a technique I learned from other work that I've done with epoxy, is that we can build up a clay dam right here to kind of form a little dish around anywhere we need to fill in, and we can just pour that liquid epoxy in and it'll just settle down into the void, and then it'll harden up and we can fair that out flush. And that'll get everything filled in so that we don't have to screw around with trying to inject thickened epoxy into these. They'll just allow that nice thin stuff to settle in there, absorb into the wood grain, and create a nice solid bond. So this Total Boat High Performance Epoxy is really good stuff. You couldn't really get more adverse epoxying conditions than what we dealt with yesterday and last night, and it just went off and did its thing with absolutely no problems whatsoever. Yeah, plenty of nice fill out down here. That's now ready to be faired down with the planer. So we gotta do some filling on top, filling on the outside, and then that scarf will be good to go, and then we can cut this one at a later point. I think we'll just proceed forward with the frames after this one's in, because this one's cut off and then the corresponding one on the other side's cut off. Of course, that'll necessitate me removing our table, but that's something I've been putting off for a while anyway. That's got to get done one way or the other. All right, so let's get this clay off. I've got the power plane here, and we'll plane this down. Man, I just can't get away from this thing, can I? All right, so we've got a couple dead fasteners right here, right in front of where the stanchion here is gonna go. So, got the drill, got this old core drill. And I actually made up a trunnel out of fur. That's fur, so. Bottom ones just go through 1, Alright guys, so I've got a throwaway roller, got my old rusty can of Interlux Brightside Bristol Beige. They don't make that anymore, so we're going to use that to cover this, but first we got to sand it. I got 40 grit on there now, so let's get to it. All right, so let's break into this old can of paint and see what we're looking at, because I never actually opened this. And this thing was in the boat when I got it. Quite rusty, messed up. Sorry for the low lighting. It's November in New England, so the sun sets at like 4:30, is what it is. All right, that lid is pretty much a roach, but the paint itself, nothing wrong with that paint. Let's paint, shall we? One coat on there, used up probably about half the can. All right, it's like 10 a.m. the next day. And obviously I didn't prime this at all, but it seems like a lot of this paint is absorbed into the wood. A lot of bare spots. And where it's still on the surface, it's still a bit tacky, but that's fine. Yeah, so that is what it is. Nice sunny day. It's supposed to warm up a little bit today too. It'll be in the mid 50s. So we'll let that sit all day, see if that doesn't cure up. All right, guys, cheers. It's the day after painting that table. And right now, everybody in the house is getting over some respiratory plague. The neighbors across the street over there, their son was playing with our kids, sniffly nose and some sort of itis. He gave us that plague. Anyway, today, I was hoping to get this frame in. Fortunately, Sharina, she's on the mend, but she's still a little bit too under the weather to hold up that big heavy-ass backing iron and everything and do that part of the job. So, and realistically, we do have another job. We have this other scarf put on this stringer, and we got a couple bolt holes there. And once we do that, then that section of stringer is totally structurally sound, and we can just proceed to the next frame forward on both sides, because both stringers are sound and ready to go. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I've got angle grinder with the rasp wheel on it, got a 40 grit flap wheel, so I'm just going to get this thing ground down and fitted, and then get it all epoxied up, clamped in, and we'll move on from there. God, if I never have to do one of these types of repairs again, I'll be happy. This is a pain in the ass. I think I'm going to switch to the flap wheel. Good enough. All right, well, I forgot to press record, so I taped up all of this, and now I'm just building a clay dam up top here for when I backfill that bolt hole area. All right, it's gonna be a little bit odd to get a clamp in here, although that should be all right. Unthickened. All right, I'll go mix up some more and thicken it up real good. You know what? We have good fill out up top there. I'm not going to have to even put any unthickened down in there. All right, guys. So, another successful scarf glue up. One step closer to getting these frames in. So that will do it. As far as I know, I don't have any more scarf joints that need repair on these stringers. There are certainly areas on them that do need repair desperately. However, it's mainly just checking issues and iron sick bolt holes, all of which can be easily solved with plenty of epoxy and lozenges and graving pieces and all that good stuff. So, as far as the major stringer repairs are concerned, this scarf marks the end of it. So, we'll leave that to cure. Alright guys, well that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed. Got a lot of work done here. It's getting to be winter now, so work is definitely slowing down. It's about 20 degrees right now, so no epoxy work. We're pretty much based on epoxy work at the moment. So Christmas is in a couple days, so as I said before, I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If you guys want to support the channel monetarily, you can do so through that Patreon link down below. It's free to join, so you can go check it out. Join, but if you want to get any premium content that will be coming soon, you got to go ahead and subscribe for a minimum of $5 a month. Really helps this project. These things aren't cheap, even though we're trying to do it on the cheap. If you guys want to save 5% on your next order with TotalBoat.com, please shop through my affiliate link down below. They're purveyors of some of the finest marine epoxies and paints in the region and in the country, right on par with West Systems. If you guys need any of that kind of stuff, their prices are already reasonable, but if you follow my affiliate link, you get 5% off your next order and you help out the channel in the process. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's freaking cold right now, so I'm gonna go back inside and I'll catch you guys again in 2 weeks. Take care. Bye.